Aloha, everybody. This is Cathy Bilsky, the Quantum Leap Let Light Unite show on UPRN Radio. And this is January 5th, 2018. I hope you all had a wonderful, wonderful new year. And we're ready to go and create create a new 2018. New starts, new beginnings. Let's go for it. A lot's been happening tonight. I figure we can do the curse removal, energy balancing. We all need it, don't you think? And then I want to talk to you a little bit about what's kind of going on in the world today and some good news. And then I want to talk to you about boycotting and just, how we can really do some protest and not just going out in the street, but you can also protest with your pocketbook. So I'm sure, before we get into all that, I'm sure you've heard, let's get into some of the good news that's happening. We've been doing a lot of light work, and you have to really pay attention to what's going on in the world to see whether or not we've been effective. So I just wanted to bring a few things to your conscious mind in case you haven't seen it yet. Well, first off, let's talk about Iceland. I want to say, Iceland, you are an incredible country. Iceland has become the first country to make paying women less for the same work as a man illegal. Whoa. I mean, that's pretty incredible, don't you think? I mean, over here in the United States, women are still struggling for the right to not have their boss dictate whether they have health insurance coverage for their birth control. And in Iceland, instead of fighting like mad to not slide back into a real life, like The Handmaid's Tale, women just got a big boost in getting fair wages. Gender pay inequity is now officially illegal in the country. I mean, that's pretty good. Now, how can this happen? Well, the number of women in government puts the U.S. to shame. The new legislation was supported by Iceland's center-right government, as well as the opposition, in a parliament where nearly 50% of all members are women. Wow. And now in the United States, only 19% of positions in Congress are filled by women. Way to go, Iceland. I salute you. Now, there's been something else really, really lovely that I wanted to share with you. And this story is about after an Arkansas man vandalized their mosque, members of the mosque paid off his fine so he wouldn't go to jail. Now, in October 2016, Abraham Davies made a bad decision to drive two friends to a nearby mosque so they could vandalize the building with swastikas and hateful messages. The security cameras at the Masjid al-Salam Mosque in Fort Smith, Arkansas, caught them in the act, and they were eventually arrested. Faced with instant regret, Davis eventually turned himself in to face charges and sent a letter of apology to the mosque. The letter and the response prompted a superb New York Times article about the vandalism, the Fort Smith community, and the Masjid al-Salam Mosque. And forgive me if I'm really misquoting that, I'm not pronouncing it right. I really, really am, and I will own it. I am language challenged. So, dear Masjid al-Salam Mosque, Abraham wrote, I know you guys probably don't want to hear from me at all, but I really want to get this to y'all. I'm so sorry about having a hand in vandalizing your mosque. It was wrong, and y'all did not deserve to have this done to you. I hurt y'all, and I'm haunted by it, and even after all this, you still forgive me. You are much better people than I. I don't know what's going to happen to me, and that is honestly really scary, but I just wouldn't want to keep going on without trying to make amends. I wish I could undo the pain I helped to cause. I used to walk by your mosque a lot and ask myself why I would do that. I don't even hate Muslims, or anyone for that matter. All in all, he concluded, I just wanted to say I'm sorry. Mosque President of Al-Salam, Louis Nasri, and members of the mosque were so moved, they lobbied for the changes against Abraham Davis to be dropped. Davis was convicted of a felony and faced around $3,200 in fines and restitutions. After struggling to pay off the debt, Davis got a heart-pumping surprise. Members of the mosque paid off his fines. From the New York Times, 5 months later, that worry was wiped away when Hisham Yassin, the mosque's lively social director, climbed the stairs of the courthouse with a cashier's check. That was what had left Abraham speechless next to the Christmas tree. There's no words, he said, his hands covering his face. English. Find it. Some weeks back, Hisham had called me to say that the mosque had received a generous donation from the J. Pritzker Foundation. No one at Al-Salam had ever heard of the foundation, and they thought at first that it was a rip-off scheme. You know, one of those send me your bank account number and we'll send you $1 million ruses. A bit of Googling told them otherwise. Now they wanted to spread the goodwill. They had decided to pay off Abraham's court fines. Now Abraham's life had come crashing into theirs. They were now linked. They could not leave him behind. The mosque president, Al-Salam, Louis Nasri, said they had no desire to see Abraham Davies go to jail. From Arkansas Matters, we heard that he was having financial problems, Nasri said. Now, if you don't pay your fine, that's an automatic 6 years in jail. Well, we didn't want him to go to jail for 6 years. So just before the new year arrives, President Al-Salam, Louis Nasri, decided to write a check for $1,700 to wipe away the rest of Davies' fines. After all that he had been through, we didn't want him sitting on that severe financial stress, Nasri said. And like I told him, we want him to have a much better future. Thank you to all the members of the Masjid al-Salam Mosque for giving us all a lesson in forgiveness. That is a fantastic way to start 2018, with purpose and forgiveness. So how many of y'all are you paying attention to what's going on in the United States? And, you know, I'm going to have to bring it up because it's really, really great, I have to say. There's a new book that has just come out called Fire and Fury, and it's about the Trump and being in the White House. And I ordered my book yesterday, and I cannot wait to get it. And depending on what it is, I might just even be reading a chapter to you a week. But boy, it is, talk about bringing everything up to the surface and total transparency. Wow. Now, Trump tried to create something called an election integrity commission. Yeah, right, and that's to see how, you know, who is illegal voting and just really some nasty stuff. Anyway, if it's Trump, you know it's not cool. Well, the states would not cooperate and wouldn't give him any names, nothing. So they disbanded it. Yay! One for the team. Now, you guys know we've been kind of doing some energy work about Steve Bannon. Oh, Oh, God, it's awesome. Him and Trump and Mitch McConnell are having this knockout, drag-out fight over the book and over Steve Bannon's book. And Steve Bannon has really tanked so bad that he has even lost some of his big donors. I mean, this is big. And, you know, we may just be saying, adios, Steve. You can crawl under your rock, and we're not ever going to see you again. You know, we've been working on that stuff a lot, wanting transparency and actually wanting to break the contact between Bannon and Trump. And there you go, guys, big time. Now, I call 2018 the year of the boycotts. Like I said, you know, you can do a lot of protesting. You can go out on the street and protest. You can sign petitions, but you can also protest with your pocketbook. Now, I was watching TV the other day, and I saw this ad really, really quickly flash, and it was a Taco Bell ad. Now, for those of you that are not in the United States and you don't know what Taco Bell is, it's a really cheap Mexican food, bottom-of-the-line, GMO food restaurant, okay? And truthfully, we've all been there. Well, they put out this ad that was totally Illuminati. And they're flashing the Illuminati signals, and they even put the word Illuminati. There are pyramids and all this stuff. And at the end of the commercial, they call themselves Bellinati. And all I could say is, what? Did I just see that? Did they just put that satanic, subliminal ad out on the air? So, of course, Chatty Cathy, I go on Facebook, and, you know, I really now believe what I saw. And it's time to boycott Taco Bell. There is no way I would tell anybody they don't have really good food. But they are satanic. If you're a part of the Illuminati and you're putting that out there, you are satanic. So, you know, my boycott this year started with Taco Bell. It's like, I'm done. Now, you got to take it a step further, because who owns Taco Bell? PepsiCo. Now, they also own Taco Bell and Pizza Hut and Burger King. So I would also add those in to the boycott. Now, my second boycott, because that's got to be all lumped together, is boycotting Israel for what they've done and what they're doing to the people of Palestine. And I've talked about this over the years, but now that, and I'm not even going to, not my president, but what Trump has did, and I'm, you know, if you're heard radio, you know, it's big news that he decided to move our embassy to Jerusalem and say, okay, Israel, that's your capital. Whoa. Talk about stirring up trouble, and he's doing it to create, well, there's two reasons, you know. He's got the evangelicals behind him, the born-again Christians, and they really want to manifest Armageddon. And they want that to happen. Cancel clear. Now, that's the born-again Christians, okay? Bible, Armageddon, we don't care how many people are going to die, but it's in the Bible, so yahoo. All right, that's the Christians. Now, the Satanists, of which Trump is definitely one, are trying to manifest World War III. And this is one of the Satanist Albert Pike's visions. He's had 3 of them, he says, got from Satan. And 2 of them came true, World War I, World War II, and he predicted World War III would happen, and it all have to do with Israel and the Muslims and the Middle East. So we're going to cancel clear that too. So, yeah, Trump's going, all right, we're going to, declare this. The Christians are going to be, the born-again Christians are going to be, hallelujah. And the Satanists are going to be going, oh, yeah. And everybody else is going, oh, my God. All right, so to make a long story short, Israel decided and got very bold that they can, snatch up the West Bank and make it theirs. Well, I'm calling for a boycott of Israel. Now, in order to boycott Israel, and I've had people say, well, how can you boycott Israel? There's a lot of people, that are really good people, that are Jewish, and, well, we're not harming them. We're harming the big corporations, the ones that are owned by the Illuminati. So I'm going to, if you got pen and paper, I'm going to go down a list, and it's going to probably blow you away when you find out what all the Israeli products are. All right? Are you ready? Here we go. Now, this is stuff you can all boycott, okay? Starbucks, Tesco, M&S, the Disney Shop, McDonald's, Hugo Boss, Sunglass Hut, The Gap, Giorgio Armani, Calvin Klein, Ralph Lauren, Banana Republic, River Island, and Timberland. Now let's go into food. Nestle. Now these are Israeli products, guys. Nestle, Maggi Noodles, Boutoni, Cross and Blackwell, Kit Kat, Milky Way Bar, Quality Street, Smarties, Aero, Lion, Polo, and Felix, which is a cat food. Now we're going to get into drinks. You guys ready for this one? Okay, here we go. Coca-Cola, Pepsi. Oh my God, did I just bring up Pepsi earlier on how they own Taco Bell and they were Illuminati? All right, well, it all goes back to an Israeli product, an Israeli owned. Then you got Fruitopia, Fanta, Kia Ora, Lilt, Sprite, Sunkist, Avion, Volvic, Nescafe, Nesquik, and Vittel. All right, so I would really ask everybody to join me. And, and again, somebody said, why are you boycotting? Because I did it when South Africa was creating apartheid to the people in their country. This is no different, except it's with Israel and what they're doing to Palestine. You cannot turn your eye, a blind eye to one, and say, okay, well, I'm not going to look at this either. You can't. If you paid attention to South Africa and you protested the apartheid, you need to wake up and join and start boycotting Israel and hitting them where it hurts, in the pocketbook. Now the next, well, I guess it's country that I really feel that it's time to boycott is Russia. Now, Russia's just not messing with our country, with the USA, and for those of you that are well-read, you know that Russia has had their hands in a lot of countries affecting, well, I'm sorry, just like the United States. What can I say? So I just said if I wanted to boycott Russian products, Russian brands, because of what they have done to the United States and how they've helped put Trump in power, I started to do a little research, and trust me, it's really, really hard to find products in the United States. Now, in Europe, Russia's got a lot of stuff, that's Russian. And, you guys have to check out that on your own. But I'm going to go and show you the 9 Russian brands to boycott. And for those against Putin's meddling with Crimea, consumers can take a stand with their wallets by boycotting Russian products. So the first one is Luke Oil. Now, energy has overwhelmingly become Russia's #1 export since the fall of the Soviet Union. Last year, America alone bought nearly $20 billion of Putin's oil, 10 times as much as our next biggest Russian import, which is iron and steel. In many real senses, Russia has become a petrostate, and Luke Oil is the country's second biggest producer. While crude oil is a global market, meaning that buying less from a company in Chicago doesn't matter because they'll just sell that barrel in Mumbai, Luke Oil doesn't just sell crude and gasoline. They also have bottles of the motor oil and lubricant on the shelves, and those products that will stagnate if no one buys them. So the next time your motor starts knocking, feel free to reach for something else other than Luke Oil. So number 2 is Aeroflot. Now, Aeroflot is the largest carrier in Russia and now flies across most of the world. While it's hard, if possible at all, to find flights within the United States on the wings of Moscow, readers flying international can start planning their trips around the Russian fleet. Now, this won't be a huge loss for international travelers since Aeroflot provides mediocre services and gets generally middling reviews anyway. The website airlinequality.com rates this fleet as 3 stars out of 5. Not terrible, but nothing to write home about either. The world has much better airlines. Russia's annexation of Crimea just gives us one more reason to avoid this one. And then we've got Baltic beers. Now, 2 years ago, the Carlsberg Group, a Danish brewing company and one of the largest beer makers in the world, bought out the Moscow-based Baltika Brewery. So technically, Baltika now belongs to the Danes. However, it remains a distinctly Russian brand brewed in and imported from Russia. Baltika makes a generally decent, if unremarkable, lager that's available in the United States. In fact, showing how thoroughly the brand has assimilated to our beer culture, the company's store locator page features a come-hither blonde in a wet, loosely buttoned shirt. For the first time being, however, Mrs. Moscow might have to be disappointed. It's probably time to look further down the tap. Number 4, cut the rope. Anyone with a smartphone has probably seen Zepto Labs' tracing game and its colorful little mascot, Om Gnome. It became a huge hit on both the iPhone and Android and spawned several sequels, which have all done relatively well. Zepto Labs is an entertainment company that was started and remains headquarters in Russia. Although they now have offices in the United Kingdom, gamers who want to send their dollars elsewhere might want to leave those ropes alone, at least from the time being. Number 5, Stolichnaya. We all knew this one was coming. Stoli is perhaps the single most iconic Russian brand out there. Every time one is ordered, you feel like you could have ridden to the bar on the back of a grizzly while wearing an oversized hat and playing with the little nesting dolls. For the modern company, pointing to a specific place of origin is a little bit of a mess. As Stoli explained during last year's backlash against Russian anti-gay laws, the company has spread its corporate structure all over the place. This most Russian of brand gets its water from Latvia, its bottles from Poland, and its caps from Italy. The key ingredient, though, the alcohol itself, that still comes from Tambov, Russia. Oh, number 6, Morgan Stanley. This one hits a little closer to home. In recent days, Morgan Stanley has announced that sanctions against Russia won't stop a deal it made for Rosneft, Russia's state-run oil company, to buy its oil group. According to Bloomberg, the American firm will sell off its global oil merchant unit to Rosneft, and approximately 100 executives will move along with it. While ordinary transactions like this happen behind the scenes, something feels inherently dirty about an American firm doing major business with the Russian state petroleum arm while that country hoists its flag over Crimea. It's one thing to conduct business as usual with the citizens of a country who couldn't turn the ship of state if they wanted to, but Rosneft is, for all intents and purposes, a branch of the Russian government. For good taste, if nothing else, Morgan Stanley should have waited. Moving money and assets elsewhere would be a sign of disapproval. 7, the entertainment. Now, Russian entertainment has proliferated over the last decade as companies can increasingly reach out to global customers through the internet. Several popular computer games and movies have their roots back in Moscow. The game, Battle Mages and Farm Frenzy, a shameless knockoff of a shameless knockoff, come from Russian studios Targem Games and Alawar Entertainment, respectively. Moscow-based IC publishes a wide variety of games, including the Men of War and King's Bounty series. Moviegoers may have even heard of the Day Watch and Night Watch films, both produced by Channel One Russia and based on a popular series of books from a local author. You can skip all of these if you want to, although once this crisis is over, I do recommend taking a look at what IC has to offer. Now, number 8 is Alforma Capital Markets Incorporated. According to its website, Alforma Capital Market is an affiliate of Alpha Bank's international equities business. Alpha, in turn, is one of the largest commercial banks in Russia with an investment branch in America and a significant presence in Europe. It should also not be confused with the Greek Alpha Bank, an entirely separate institution. Although the day-to-day consumer probably won't come across Alforma, anyone making decisions with their company's money might want to remember where this firm comes from and where they send the money. 9, Russia Today. Owned and operated by the Russian government, this news network has been generally outed as a propaganda operation. You know, kind of like our Fox News network. Totally propaganda. Questionable even under the best of circumstances. These days it's probably best to just switch back over to anything else other than Fox. All right, so what else are you going to boycott from Russia? Okay, well, these are a few other things that I come up with. The mob, good luck. Now, one guy said, I think I'll boycott the Russian prostitutes. Gotta admit, that's a good one. Somebody else said, I'm no longer going to eat their caviar. There you guys goes, caviar. And the one that I like the best, if you're going to boycott something that's coming from Russia, you need to boycott Trump and all of Trump's enterprises. Don't go to his golf courses. Don't go to his hotels. Don't buy anything of Ivanka's, which is a Trump. Stay away from any and all Trump stuff. That's hurting them in their pocketbook. So, like I said, that's the year of boycotts. So we can start off with Taco Bell, which goes right up to Israel, and Israel itself, Russia. And for those of you out of country, we do have a lot of American products, which I'm sure coming from big corporations that, please, if they're supporting and doing some awful stuff, boycott them. Put your money where your mouth is. Then they'll, listen. If they start tanking and nobody's buying their stuff, then they stand up and they listen. So, when we all get together and we all come together as one, we do make a difference. All right, so let's do the energy balancing curse removal. And for those of you that's not ever done it before, it's a really nice way of clearing out old energy that no longer serves you and, helping you move forward. And I've heard over the years how powerful this is and how much it's really helped people. And it's addressing, curses, which happen all the time. I can get cursed just for being white on the island of Hawaii, because white people are kind of low on the totem pole here. It's many, many races, many people live here. But you can get a curse from somebody being jealous of you. You're too happy, you're too pretty, you've got money, you're successful, whatever. They can use whatever excuse to send negative energy at you. And then you got people that actually sit down and do a ceremony, like voodoo, black magic, Santa Maria. And if they know what they're doing, trust me, you're going to get hit. And then depending on where you're at on the karmic wheel is how bad you're going to get hit. That is easy. So what I do is I open up all your energy centers, really get them going. And what are your energy centers? Your crown chakra at the top of your head, your third eye, in the middle of your forehead, your throat chakra, power of the spoken word. Of course, you got your heart, and then the solar plexus right under your heart is where we take in everything. And then you've got your belly button chakra, sacral, and the root. So we're going to open all those up. Say, for example, if you're somebody that really holds everything in and doesn't like to speak their truth, a lot of times you might have trouble building up in your throat because you're blocking it. If you're someone that doesn't like to express love and hold it in, what are the odds you think that you just might create a heart attack for yourself? So when you get all these chakras, your body is breathing, everything is flowing. And then, like I said, I remove curses, energy, implants, that can come from voodoo, where people stick pins in dolls, energy overlays. What's an energy overlay? Have you ever seen, experienced a woman, maybe a friend, who got beat up by her spouse? And then she'll turn around and go, oh my God, but he loves me. Everybody can see it but her because he's got an overlay over her. And she can't see it until she can break through that overlay. So it's removing all that stuff. So, going to participate, sit down, put your feet flat on the ground, and sit up as straight as you can. And I want you to start taking some gentle, deep breaths. Put your feet flat on the floor. And put your hands in your lap like you're going to receive. So you're breathing in light and exhaling out everything that no longer serves you. And that energy goes through the violet flame back to God, and you fill up with your divine essence. So keep doing that until I tell you to stop. And as you're doing that, I surround you in a bubble of golden flame. I add to that the blue flame of protection, the violet flame of transmutation, the green flame of healing. And I'm going to seal you in the pink flame of love. And I call to all your teachers, guides, masters, and all the angels that work with you and invite them in to make this energy work as gentle, loving, and kind as I can. So take one more deep breath and exhale out everything that no longer serves you. And that energy goes through the violet flame back to God, and you fill up with your divine essence. I want you to imagine this incredible divine energy coming down from God, coming into the top of your head. And as it comes into your crown chakra, allow it to flow into your brain. And as it flows into your brain, feel every cell, atom, molecule of your brain reconnecting to the Creator. And you're becoming this real, awakened spiritual being filled with all these new possibilities. So let that energy now flow out your third eye. It's in the middle of your forehead. And feel the energy now flow down a little bit farther. So now it comes out of your throat chakra. And now allow that energy to come out of your heart chakra. And feel it come down a little bit farther and let it come out of your solar plexus chakra. And now allow that energy to flow down a little bit farther and come out of your belly button chakra. And now allow that energy to flow out of your root chakra. So feel that energy flow all the way down your legs now, out your feet, and send it into the earth. And feel it flow down your arms and out your hands, and allow it to flow down your spine. So I want you to take one more gentle deep breath, and as you exhale, I want you to allow anything that no longer serves you being gently released as you exhale that's left in your body, and then just breathe normal. As you're doing that, I call to Michael the Archangel to come forth and cut all ties to any energy you've taken on that's not yours, whether it's from a friend, relative, acquaintance, stranger, anybody you work with, TV, said animal, whatever the karmic reason is it created anything out of balance in your life or your body today. And as all that unwanted energy is peeled off of you gently like an onion skin, it all goes through the violet flame back to God, and you fill up with your divine essence. And now I want Michael to come forth, cut all ties to reptile, dinosaur energy, secret societies, organized religion. Cut all ties to any oaths, vows, curses, hexes, rituals that could have been done to you or your family, going backwards and forwards hundreds of thousands of generations, or anything you could have done, consciously or unconsciously. And as all that unwanted energy too is peeled off of you gently like an onion skin, it all goes through the violet flame back to God, and you fill up with more of your divine essence. And now I want Michael to come forth, cut all ties to any effigies that have been misused against you, and that's any elemental of yours that's been used to hurt you or anyone, including anything you own, clothes, hair, picture, your name spoken, written, just thought of, or anything you have your energy on. And as ties to all those elementals are cut, I call the violet flame through them to clean them up, the angel light energy to heal. We release all that unwanted energy back to God, fill them up with love, and we command them to be neutral or only emit love. And now we want Michael to come forth, remove any energy implants that have been done to you or anything that could have carried over from any other lifetime because of dark magic, voodoo, dark witchcraft, or just dark thoughts sent your way. So I want this stick, pin, needle, or knife that's in your crown chakra removed from your third eye, your throat, heart, solar plexus, belly button, root, feet, hands, spine, eyes, ears, nose, mouth, hips, teeth, anywhere in your body that's out of balance. And as you feel all those pins, needles, and knives being very gently removed, imagine all those spaces immediately fill up with the violet flame to clean them up, the angel light energy to heal. We release all that unwanted energy back to God, and you fill up with more of your divine essence. And now I want Michael to come forth and cut all ties to patriarchy, genocide, rape, incest, slavery, prostitution, persecution, circumcision, removing any energy overlay that's trying to manipulate you, keeping you from connecting with God, healing yourself, being really successful, fulfilling all your divine missions and filling your life in joy. And as all that unwanted energy is gently released, it's keeping all these wonderful things from coming to you. We send it through the violet flame back to God, and you fill up with more of your divine essence. Now, if there's anybody out there that's directing any kind of dark energy at you, whether it's through magic, witchcraft, or just dark thoughts sent your way, we're going to ask them to stop, step forward into the light, and if they choose not to, which is their free will, we're going to ask their higher selves and their guardian angels to put them in a position of total and complete harmlessness. See them surrounded in a bubble of mirror. The mirror faces them. It's 2 inches from their nose, and as long as they do that dark work, that energy stays contained in the bubble of mirror. And I'm going to add the violet flame to the bubble of mirror, so it transmutes any of their dark energy so they have no forward movement. The bubble of mirror stays up 24/7, 365 days a year until they do works of good. So I call to your higher self and ask your higher self now to activate your divine blueprint for perfect health. And it starts manifesting in your body now. So allow all that energy to integrate in a very gentle, kind, loving way with your cells, your atoms, your molecules, all your internal organs, going all the way down into your DNA. And with every breath, I want you to feel this energy just integrate. Feel yourself become very, very centered, very clear-headed. And feel yourself very back in body. And since we have a little bit of time, let's do a little bit of energy work and take advantage of this. So let's create some bubbles of light, and in the bubble of light, we're going to put in the Republican Party and the Democratic Party in the United States. And we're going to ask that Michael, the Archangel, come forth and cut all ties to all their negativity, any attachments, any satanic attachments, attachments to greed, to the Bible and manifesting Armageddon or any kind of Holocaust. We want ties cut between them and Trump. And we want all overlays of magic be removed off of them. That's keeping them from doing the right thing and actually removing Trump from office. We want total and complete transparency in everything they do. And if they are involved with Russia and they are hiding it, we're going to ask the Goddess of Truth to bring it all up to the surface. And do it in a way where justice can be served and they're removed from office. And replaced with a light worker. And to all those politicians out there that are really speaking out for the light and doing works of good, let's just blast them with all kinds of energy and ask that they be divinely inspired on how they can move forward and to magnetize them to themselves everything they need to keep doing their good work. Fill it up with light and love, and let's take a deep breath and release it. So we're going to create another bubble of light, and in this bubble of light, I want to put in you, all the light workers on the planet. And see them fill up with so much light that they're magnets for everything good, that they're able to manifest all kinds of abundance. Ganesha, the remover of obstacles, goes out and removes all obstacles that are in their way and your way that's keeping you from being successful. And remove the blocks that's keeping you from doing your divine missions. I'm going to ask you fill up with so much abundance that you have enough to share with the less fortunate. All right, fill that up with light and love, and let's take a deep breath and release it. So again, we're going to create another bubble of light, and in this bubble of light, let's put in all the people on the planet that are homeless and that are out in this cold. I'm going to ask the angels to go to them and wrap them in your wings and warm them up. I know you can do this. You've done it for me. We're going to call out to the higher selves of all the pastors, priests, the heads of all the churches to open up their doors to these homeless and let them have shelter. See people opening up their hearts and bringing them food, bringing them warm clothes, blankets, even tents, sleeping bags. See people opening up their hearts and helping people that are less fortunate. All right, fill that up with light and love, and let's take a deep breath and release it. So again, we're going to create another bubble of light. In this bubble of light, we're going to put Trump and all his family and ask that Michael the Archangel remove all overlays of protection around this man and their family, total transparency. We command the angels to keep him away from that nuclear button. Let him not be able to go near it. We want his handlers to take his Twitter account away from him, the phone, so he can't become the Twitty he is, and cause further turmoil in the world. And whoever is guiding him into getting rid of all the programs for the poor, bring it up to the surface so we know who these people are. And that they can also be dealt with and removed from office. Let everything the Trump family has done be brought up to the surface to others. And if it's for their highest good and for the highest good of the planet, for them to now receive their karma for all the negative things they have done and all the hurtful things they have done to people. And this concludes the Kushner family. then let their karma come back to them over 100,000-fold, and I stand aside while it does. And then let them be replaced, let Trump be replaced with a light worker, a human, not a reptilian. And let's fill that up with light and love and take a deep breath and release it. All right, let's kind of close. Because we did a little energy work, we're going to do 3 ohms and then do some grounding. All right, come on, you can ohm with me. Om, 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 Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May all the beings in all the worlds be happy. So be it. So if you've got that stone hematite, go grab it. And if you don't have it by now, by golly, go to your rock shop and go get some. It's a really nice grounding tool. If it's not too terribly cold and you're still lightheaded and high after the show, go run out, put your hands on the tree for 30 seconds, send all your excess energy into the tree, and then ask the tree to send you energy back, and you'll immediately ground. And if you can't do that, then, eating is good. Maybe a nice shower to calm you down, or all of it. And that's it for tonight, guys. And I want to thank you very much for joining me tonight. And I really hope that you have a really lovely week. And your lessons are gentle, and you're filled with much, much abundance. And on that high note, I am going to say aloha, good night, and catch you next week.